Hi, today we're going to view the IT asset inventory and tickets management database. First, we're going to open up FileMaker Pro, click on the database, put in the user credentials. Then as it loads, we're going to see that there is 6 modules and 6 other areas of interest. We're going to first start with the user list. Here is where you would manage all users, their first name, the department, the phone number, their emails, and this is going to populate the user list when you are assigning users to specific hardware. Then we're going to go into the software. This is also a list. You would put in the software name, CD key, how many licenses you have for that specific software, the cost of the software, and you will see that number installed is here. This automatically gets populated based on when you add the software that is installed into a specific hardware, such as an iMac or a Dell PC. Let's go into the hardware. As you can see, we have one record here, and you have all this information that you can put in. You will notice that there is a user drop-down, which is based on the user list that you are managing. And you would also notice that there's these 4 tabs down here. Let's focus on connecting it to software. So, Carmen has an iMac, but we need to install Adobe to her iMac. So we click on software, and we would select Adobe. This means that she has Adobe installed into her iMac. As you will notice, the drop-down list only has 2 items, and that is because in our software list we only have 2 items there, as you will see. 2 items. So let's go back. You'll also see that there's connected hardware. Well, when you click on here, you will see that she has a phone. So we're going to say, not only does she have an iMac, but she also has a phone that's connected to her iMac. Once we select that, the date automatically gets populated. Now, user history. What this tells us is that a user prior to today had her iMac before. This is not a new iMac. So as you can see, there's a user history. Now let's suppose Carmen decides she doesn't want this iMac as well. So far today we had O. McDonald, who decided he does not want the iMac, or maybe the IT department just decided this iMac is not good for what he does. So it turns out that Carmen is not going to get this iMac either. So what we're going to do, we're going to put her down here. We're going to select her name, and it says that she had this iMac today as well. I know it's a far-fetched idea, but just for demonstration purposes. And we're going to change this, and we're going to give it to Shlomo. Hopefully the iMac stays with Shlomo, because so far in one day it's had 2 people. But you can see that when you pull up this iMac based on its serial number or based on the type, you'll see that there has a user history of O. McDonald and Carmen. Now, a service log is pretty much any tickets that were put in for this iMac. So far, there's no tickets put in for this iMac. So let's go back to the menu. Let's see who has tickets today. Let's go to our ticket log. You will see that Shlomo's iMac won't turn on. So let's go into that. So far, we used installation disk to repair drive and reset the pram, and it still won't turn on, and it's a closed ticket. So this must be the computer he had prior to having Carmen's computer. So let's go back to hardware, and there you go, Shlomo. So once you clicked hardware, it goes into his hardware that he has. And we see that his iMac wasn't turning on. And the last thing that we did was we used the installation disk to repair the drive, and that's why it is closed. And someone forgot to put how long they spent on this, and we're just going to put it in for them. They spent a half hour with that. Now the solution would show the most recent solution. Let's go back to the tickets. As we can see, Shlomo had two solutions. First, they needed to reset the pram, but it still wouldn't turn on, so they had to escalate the ticket to level 2. And level 2 said, let's use the installation disk to repair the drive. And then they closed the ticket. So that's pretty much it when it comes to tickets and managing hardware. We also have an IP address list, which shows the user and their IP address. Now currently we see that Shlomo has 2 computers, and that is because we assigned him 2 computers, which we probably should change. So let's go, well actually, let's just check on the price report since we're here. In the price report, you'll see that in computers alone, we've spent $16,300 because we bought 2 iMacs. Then we see that we bought 1 phone and we spent $1,500 on that phone. So let's go back to the hardware. Once again, you will see that Shlomo was there, but if we search for Shlomo, we're probably going to find that he has 2 records. So we have this iMac and this iMac, which is what I had assigned to him because Carmen was unsatisfied with the IT, with that iMac. So let's go back here to the first one and let's say, well, we already gave him Carmen's old iMac, so that means he's going to retire. He doesn't want this computer. So we're going to put him here, and you'll see that the date is automatically calculated. And we're just going to delete this because we're going to decide to not give the iMac to anyone. And we're going to put it as retired because no one's using it, so we might as well retire it. Alright, so that's pretty much everything when it comes to the IT asset inventory and also the tickets management. This is pretty much everything here. And let's see, we could also view tickets by priority, which will show high priority to least. We have the ability to manage accounts. Now what that does is, once you create the account, which is File, Manage, Security, and you create an account. Let's create a dummy account. So we're going to go John Doe. Actually, let's give him, just in case there might be more than one John Doe, we're going to give, instead of specifying names for the account, you should give them a number for their account name. Maybe their employee ID number. So maybe that's their employee ID number. Set their password. You're going to give them data entry, access. All right, so let's create them in here. Once we created their account there, let's put it was 1936, I believe. Let me verify because I already forgot. 19345, wow, okay. 19345, and that is for John Doe. Now the reason why we set up the account names to numbers as opposed to names is because there might be somebody that has the same name. So we want the system to be able to find the correct email address for that correct person. So this is jdoe@email.com. The reason why we have this is so that when they're going to enter in their tickets, when they're going to request their tickets, it would have the correct email and the correct username. The reason why we want the correct email is because when the ticket is closed, they get emailed right away that their ticket was closed. So let's go back. Let's request the ticket. Let's click new. And, oh, they have to be signed in. So let's sign in as John Doe, which is 19345. So I'm going to sign out of here. Okay, so John Doe goes in. He's going to request the ticket. Click new. He's not in the system, so we can't select an equipment for him, which is in the hardware. So we'll just leave that blank, and I need a new phone. He submits the ticket. Go to the menu. If we go to the ticket log, we're going to see that it automatically says John Doe. I need a new phone. The reason why it knows that is based on his login information. And that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, feel free to contact info@trinity7designs.com.